All right, here he is, Scott Ren, or also known as Scott, on Love in Paradise Season 3.
And Family Show.
I was going to say, and you're getting ready to be on the Family Chantel Season 5, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
How did that work? Scott, how did that happen, by the way? Were you guys filming Love in Paradise Season 3 and the Family Chantel Season 5? Like, did it overlap filming? How did, or you and Lydia's?
I can't get into too much of the production aspect, but I can tell you they were close. They were very close. And I was doing a little damage control with Lydia, and then it continues from that point.
Well, I mean, I'm going to ask you lots of questions about Family Chantel because this season is rumored to be the last since Pedro and Chantel are divorced and finalizing their divorce. You get into this epic fight with Pedro. At least it's teased that way on the, the trailer for the Family Chantel. So we'll get to that. But, you're very, you have a lot of fans. People have hot opinions about you one way or the other. So let's go back. I want to kind of start at the beginning because
let's do that. Definitely.
You grew up in Florida, right?
No, I'm originally from Brooklyn. Some people say they hear a little bit of the accent, but when I was deployed during COVID to Brooklyn, a lot of people, when I go there, people are like, no, you sound like you're from Florida. But then in Florida, people say, no, you sound like you have a little Brooklyn left. But I was born in Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, and then I moved to Tampa, Florida area when I was 13.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. Did you ever listen to FLZ and the Kane Show in the morning?
Of course. I'm a huge fan of the Kane Show. Don't ever try to pull that, hey, we have a dozen roses ready for you. I'm not going to fall. I won't be baited with that one. I won't fall for that one.
Well, I co-hosted with Kane for like 6.5 years. So I was down
I didn't know if we were allowed to talk about that, but yeah, I'm a huge fan. I mean, I grew up with 93.3 FLC, the Power Pig, then MJ and BJ, the Kane Show, Bubba Love Sponge. I mean, I love all of them. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were like huge in Tampa. I love Tampa. Spent a lot of time down there for Gasparilla and all that. Tampa is amazing. So you were in Tampa for quite a bit of your life. You got married. You talked about that on the show. You were married to your wife for what, like over 20 years, 2 decades?
Yeah, she was from Long Island. I was from Brooklyn, so we had that common denominator. We were together a total of 25 years. The high school sweethearts lost their virginity to each other. I've always been teased that I have a type. She was Sicilian Italian. I've always liked that exotic olive skin brown. I've never kissed a girl with blue eyes. How about that in my life, ever? And so we were together 25 years. Unfortunately, we grew apart. So I've been divorced 10 years now. And then I talked about it on Love in Paradise. I was like kid in a candy store. I want to have a lot of fun. All shapes, all sizes, all colors. I didn't discriminate.
So, you kind of like, you've blown up on TV, right? Like people have all these opinions about you. They follow you. But were you ever on television prior to Love in Paradise?
Actually, I was. I don't know if this counts, but Kelly Ripa, I was on the same time she was on Dance Party USA in 1988 on the USA Network where you were dancing and the guy, Andy, I forget his name, but I was on 6 episodes on the USA Network and I flew all the way up to Philadelphia and they filmed 5 episodes on a Saturday for the USA Network. It was like downtown Julie Brown Club MTV. I don't know if you remember, it was Dance Party USA. So you're dancing and everything like that. So yeah.
Okay, so you're an amazing dancer. You got quite far on the show.
Well, it wasn't a competition. It was just more like a bunch of kids, teenagers dancing in the same room together. So.
And so so was there a part of you that always wanted to be on television? Like, did you think you were going to be like an actor or a singer? Like, were you drawn to it?
I don't think I ever grabbed I think if I would die tomorrow, my identity has always been being a respiratory therapist, high school soccer coach, a father, a grandfather. The TV, I don't think that defines me, but I think you mentioned it, like, I think people love me or hate me. I feel like I got a lot more haters and they feel compelled to keep trolling me and giving me their opinions, but whatever.
Oh God, well, welcome to TV, right? I mean, yeah. Okay, so
by the way, I don't I'm not promoting it. They're not paying me yet. I've never made a penny from social media yet. So.
You haven't? You will. You will.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this career, you're never thinking about TV. You're in respiratory health all these years. You're a soccer coach raising your kids. You go through this divorce. And how did you get cast on Love in Paradise? I had read that you were friends with Alejandro.
Yeah. So when COVID, so I was at one hospital. People see me as this unstable, unbalanced type of guy, but I was married forever. You mentioned that. I was at the same job for 20 years. And then when I retired from this one hospital, I started as a new grad in '96, and then I finished in 2016. I started doing like per diem work at agency, and I ended up in Miami. And then COVID happened. And then all of a sudden, respiratory therapists with critical care experience and RNs, critical care, we were getting the offers. Like, we didn't have a crystal ball to know how long the pandemic would last, but it went from 5,000 a week to 6,000. And finally, I got a call, hey, you want to make 10,000 a week? You're deployed to New York. You'll stay at JFK Airport. The hotels are doing the free housing for healthcare heroes, workers. And then I was making great money. Like, it was insane. So I ended up getting I was working on the governor's executive order to work in the state, because I only had a Florida license. Long story short, I ended up getting my New York license because I fell in love with New York. I still had some family there. And then I was training at a gym in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And he kept coming up to me, asking me for advice. And I said, you look familiar, but I couldn't place where. But I'm not a big reality TV person, but all my patients would always have the TLC network on there, and you're going into therapy or taking care of a trach, or they're on a ventilator, the nurses had it on. I'm watching, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, you look familiar. And they told me he was on this TV show called The Family Chantel. I was like, oh, okay. We became friends. I gave him some good tips at the gym. And then he invited me to his bar. He was a bartender at his place. He says, hey, I owe you a favor. Let's get some wings. I'll get you a drink. I said, that's cool. We took a photo together. Nicole showed Lydia. Lydia saw the picture. And then hey, do you have WhatsApp? And I was like, no, but I downloaded it. And then we started texting for almost a year.
Okay, wow. What a turn of fate. I mean, I guess you were really meant to be on television. I mean, that's a random meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like that. Everyone's some people say things are scripted or this or that and other. And everyone's like, come on, Scott, the whole thing with Lydia and then your ex from Colombia, Liz, is that real? I'm like, no, that's how dramatic and crazy my life is. My life is that crazy. Even my kids try to go, oh my God, Dad, what happened to you? You used to have structure and discipline, and now you're all over the place, So, so my life's definitely taken a turn. I feel like it went from conventional to unconventional.
Yeah, how does that make you feel, Scott? Do you feel a lot of people always describe it as a midlife crisis when people get, divorced in their late 40s, early 50s, and then men and women, they have plastic surgery or they go crazy. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's a midlife crisis or more of an awakening? How do you describe it?
I think it's just another chapter in my life, and I'm not the type of guy that I think a midlife crisis guy would be doing all the plastic surgery and doing this and that and the other. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm the furthest thing from that. I went through a bankruptcy. I probably have my significant, I don't know if we're going to introduce her at some point, but
yes, I've seen your new girlfriend who's beautiful on your Instagram.
So, but I don't want to get in trouble with the network. So we'll talk about everything pertaining to the show, but before the show and after the show, I think it's game on. It's all good. So, I think the thing that is important for me is I've always been real, raw, transparent to a fault. I've never tried to impress people with money. Even when I had money, when I was doing the deployments in New York, I was making 10, 13 grand a week. Most of that money I gave it to my ex, Liz, in Colombia, my kids, my mom. I've always been somebody that's not been into tangible items other than buying my house. That was it. And I ended up, fortunately, I'm not good with money. I went through a bankruptcy. My house I'm selling, the money that I'm making from that, it's going to go towards the IRS. I owe some back taxes, but at least I'll hit the reset button, and I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm breathing, I'm living my best life, and I have somebody beautiful that loves me. So You want to meet her?